Hey channel makers, there are so many videos out right now about how you can use AI for content creation. And of course, over here, we are particularly interested in how it can be used for making your YouTube videos better. Everything I found on AI, it just kept seeming like this pattern of things that are not actually very practical. Maybe it's a cool idea or a cool concept, but it's things that you wouldn't actually use. So I tested a lot of tools and wanted to find out what would actually be helpful and what kinds of things you'd actually want to use on your own channel. So one of the uses for AI that I was most excited to try is an AI voice generator, which will basically learn your voice, and then it can, in theory, use your voice and read text and then basically make a fake version of your voice. It's kind of freaky. I was a little nervous about it, but it was fun to try. So I used a program called PlayHT, and it had me upload an audio file of my voice, which was really easy. I had to adjust a couple of things because it didn't know how to sound out letters very well, which is ironic because that prevented me from getting a good clone of myself saying the audio. If you haven't guessed by now, this is a out. I think it sounds a lot like me, but sometimes it mumbles through words or skips them entirely. Maybe it figured out that I mumble. I should work on that. So I had a lot of fun playing around with it, but I wasn't that impressed. It sounded pretty bad, and in my opinion, pretty obvious that it wasn't really me. Okay, but what are the actual uses for this? That's kind of where I got caught up, is I'm not sure if this has a lot of practical applications. There are some things you could use it for, like if you messed up in a video and for some reason couldn't re-record your actual voice, maybe you have too much background noise in your home with your family, or something like that, then maybe you do the voice to text instead of just re-recording. But overall, I can't really see a scenario where it would be better to use this than just re-record your real voice. But maybe you have ideas, let me know in the comments below. One option you could try is just scripting an entire video and letting AI read the entire script for that video if you're doing a faceless channel. I don't really recommend this because I don't think you're gonna get the same vocal variety. It's not gonna feel as familiar as your actual voice. But if you have a real good reason that you just simply cannot use your own voice often in your videos and you can't record often and you have to do this, then it's better than not making content at all. And for this next one, Jake actually tested it out very thoroughly, so I'm gonna let him tell you about it.
All right, now for the fun stuff. I've been playing around with some text to image programs that are available online, and I'm super impressed with what I found. Nowadays with websites like Hotpot and Dream Studio, all you need to do is give it a text prompt of what you're looking for, and the system will generate a very impressive image that you can then use without any copyright or licensing issues. I found it usually takes a few attempts to get exactly what you're looking for, and you can set in the system how many images you want. Usually it puts in 4, and between those 4, usually 1 or 2 of them is pretty usable. As a user, there's a learning curve to figure out exactly what the system's looking for. So something I found helpful is I went into the gallery on Hotpot, and there I can see a list of images that the system's created. I can see the text prompt that was given to get that image, and even the artistic style that was used. So here's Hotpot's main page. What I'm going to be playing with is this turn animation to art, where we just give it some text and it creates an image for us. You'll see that there's a number of other tools on here where you can give it your portrait and it'll put you in a different style. You can upscale an image to get better pixelation. You can remove backgrounds, personalize art, a whole number of things. But let's go ahead and play with this for now. So let's give it a prompt and let's check out some styles. You can just tell it to go and it'll pick a random style for you, but I find you likely will want to give it some direction, unless you just want to have it create a ton of images and then you can just pick what you like. But I'm imagining this in more of a cartoon style, maybe comic book. Let's give this guy a try. We'll just do 1 image for now, but like I was saying, you can make a whole bunch and then pick from what you like, but we're playing on limited credits today, so let's just do 1 for now. Let's hit create. It'll take a few minutes. All right. We got Bigfoot, got some crazy eyes on him, but no major issues with it. What we've seen in the past is sometimes the AI doesn't understand how people do things, like sit on a chair. So sometimes it won't put the chair there. It'll put a person in a sitting position, but might not include the chair. It seems to have produced a somewhat decent starting image. Not exactly what I was looking for, but it might be because of the style I tried. So that's why I recommend telling it to create multiple images, play around with different styles, and like I said, the credits won't take you too far if you're experimenting like that. Let me take you over to Dream Studio to show you what they can do over there. Let's do a similar prompt. Bigfoot sitting around a campfire with hikers laughing. Pick comic book as the style. It's gonna create 4 images for us, so it'll give us a little bit more to choose from. Let it go to work. All right, I'm loving these. Again, a comic book style, Bigfoot hanging out with campers, and you'll notice, like I said, some mistakes here and there. Like this dude's hand looks like Bigfoot fingers. I don't know what's going on with his foot here, but generally this is a pretty usable image. If it was sized down to a thumbnail, would you even notice some of those mistakes? Maybe not. And again, if you have some artistic ability or editing ability, maybe you can move that foot or reanimate that hand for him just to help refine the image a little bit. Has a hard time with fingers, doesn't know which way toes are supposed to face. Still pretty impressive for, what was that, 30, 45 seconds? I got 4 images, at least one of these I'd be happy to use. Look at this dude's face. I don't know what's going on there. It looks like it made these 2 hikers Bigfoot as well, judging by their facial hair. So there you have it. That's what I came to find with Hotpot and Dream Studio. Those are 2 of my favorite programs, but there's a whole number of them online. You can use these tools to create an image or personalize an existing image in a new artistic style. You can use it to remove an image from the background using the AI. And if you have artistic and editing skills, you can use this to create a base image and then make edits and tweaks to that image to make it look more realistic, or use it to create a background.
In addition to Hotpot, I have a little secret as far as images and AI go. And that is that this thumbnail has probably more AI influence than you realized. So for one thing, we used it to remove the background, and I used Hotpot on this thumbnail to remove the background. Would I recommend Hotpot specifically for a background remover? Probably not, because there are other applications that can do it free or cheaper. For example, even iPhone will let you just hold down and remove a background now. And Canva has a background remover, although you have to pay for it, but it also comes with all the other amazing premium Canva features. So if it were me, I would probably just buy Canva instead of using Hotpot just for the background remover. But if you like some of the other features that Jake talked about, then obviously Canva might be a great fit for you. Aside from removing the background, there's another element of this thumbnail that was AI, and it was actually the Photoshop AI. But what we did was, when we took this thumbnail picture, both of my arms were down straight. Then we had AI actually put my hand in it. And the whole time we knew we were gonna have my hand in it. It wasn't an afterthought. We were just trying to test how much AI could do if we had forgotten to do something, just to see what it would do. And I couldn't believe how well it mimicked the sleeve. The hand, yeah, I knew that AI could make a hand image. We've done that kind of thing before, but I was just really surprised how much it got that same like texture of my kind of crinkly, weird textured shirt, and how it rolled up the sleeve. It all just looked so believable. The watch, it all just cracked me up. And AI is something we've used for thumbnails quite a bit, actually. So I would say if you're comfortable with the Photoshop AI or using other AI for Photoshop, it does take some amount of skill to be able to do that, but it's worth learning, especially if it's something you want to get into, and we have found it useful on multiple occasions. So that's something we're going to keep using, and I would suggest you give a try as well. Now let's talk about TubeBuddy, which we've gone over on this channel before, and we're actually coming out with another video about it soon, so I'm really excited for that. But TubeBuddy is a browser extension for your YouTube channel, and it has a ton of features for like analytics and all kinds of things for helping you come up with channel ideas. And one of them that I find the most helpful that vidIQ actually doesn't have. vidIQ is another piece of software that's very similar if you haven't heard of it. But TubeBuddy has a feature where you can bulk edit descriptions. This has saved me hours upon hours upon hours of tediously having to go change one little thing in our descriptions. If we have kind of a standard paragraph that we have in every description and we want that altered a little bit, maybe we want a new link or just slightly different wording, it has been really, really helpful because I just search for that sentence that I know that word is in or that link is in, and it's able to quickly find all of the videos that has that in the description and then bulk edit it to be something else. And that has saved me so much time. It has another feature, which is a shorts idea generator. So it goes through your old videos and looks for spots that had really high retention and then suggests which spot in the video based on that you could make a short out of. And we've actually used this too with great success. And I think that could really help you on your channel because sometimes it's hard to know what the best part of your videos are and you don't want to have to go back through every single video and look at the retention graph. This TubeBuddy analyzer just does it for you, and it also looks at your most successful videos overall and puts those at the top of the list, and then you can scroll down and see which ones you actually want to make shorts out of. So I thought that was really awesome. We ended up making the short with our raw footage off of the TubeBuddy software, but we used that for the suggestion of what shorts to use. And so give that a try. Look through a few of them, see if it's suggesting good parts of your videos and if those would make decent shorts. And I was pretty hesitant about this because just because it can look and see what part of your video had the highest retention does not mean that that minute or 30 seconds is going to fit well out of context. But it actually did for most of the ones I looked at. The little chunk that it recommended really did fit pretty well out of context and as standalone content. So that's really cool. I would definitely suggest you give that a try, at least look at it, and it's part of the free features, so why not? And there are a lot of other AI features on TubeBuddy, but we have a video specifically about TubeBuddy coming up soon. I will link it here once it is out, and so definitely watch that for a full review on TubeBuddy. Now the next tool is vidIQ AI, and I use the premium version of this, although I played around a little bit with the free version and they both seemed fairly equal. And I also compared this to ChatGPT because ChatGPT is mostly free right now, at least a lot of the features are free, and I wanted to see how it compared against a completely free version of AI. So something that ChatGPT used to not do very well is come up with ideas for community posts. And so I wanted to test this out specifically because vidIQ suggests asking for community post ideas as something that you can use their AI for, and their AI definitely, obviously, knew what community posts were and gave pretty good suggestions for some prompts I put in on community posts. In the past, ChatGPT did not really seem to know what community posts were on YouTube, even when I would try to use a lot of words like community post on YouTube and things like that. It kind of just seemed to think it was like a random social media post. It didn't do very well at all. But when I tried more recently, in comparison to the vidIQ community post feature, ChatGPT also knew pretty well what a community post was and gave comparable results. Although it did seem like ChatGPT's suggestions were more narrow, they were more just questions you could ask your audience, whereas vidIQ gave more suggestions like you could have a poll on this, you could have a quiz on this, kind of all the different community post features. So are we gonna keep using vidIQ? Yeah, I think we will. Should you? Play around with it. I would say see if it's more beneficial than ChatGPT, especially if you want to try the premium version. You can get really steep discounts on vidIQ premium version. And in fact, we have a link in our description for a practically free month of vidIQ. I think it's 1 cent. And so you can try out the premium version pretty cheap, or you could just hop on over to ChatGPT and see how helpful that is. But yeah, why not give it a shot, especially if you have a hard time thinking of community post ideas. I know I do. And we also have a vidIQ video coming up soon, so watch that. We're going to be comparing vidIQ and TubeBuddy and going deep into the features of vidIQ. And so for all of the features and some more in-depth explanations of what it can do and what kinds of things you can use it for on your channel, definitely watch that when it comes out. Okay, for this last one, I need to switch views a little bit. Give me just a second. Okay, this next one is pretty neat. We've used it before on our channel, and I bet you didn't notice. What it is that we use AI backgrounds on some of our vertical videos. So in this one, for example, the bookshelves on the sides are actually AI compared to what would have just been black sides on this vertical video. And here, the sides of this video are AI too. This can work really well if you have some vertical content and you want it to blend in a little bit better with your horizontal content. You don't want it to be quite so jarring and quite so obvious that you're switching to vertical content. Of course, some people are gonna notice anyways, which is fine for them to notice that you're doing vertical content. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's just another look and something to consider, and it's pretty fun to play around with. So give that a try, and I'm going to link all of these tools and what we used for them in the description below. Okay, back to the video. Okay, so what's the real takeaway here? We think that AI is a fantastic tool if you use it as a tool, and I bet you've heard that before, and it's probably starting to sound a little bit cliche, but that really is what we've found, is that AI is often a solution when there's something to accomplish that it's hard to accomplish without AI, and we notice that AI is a good way to accomplish it. However, going at it from how can I use AI as much as possible is usually an inorganic and ineffective way to make content. The content ends up being kind of low quality when it is forced. But If you just use it to solve problems like you'd use any other tool, it can work really well and definitely help you with idea generation or just a little bit of cool special effects like on the vertical view videos. So for your channel, the ones you decide to use are going to be different than the ones we decide to use, and there's a lot of tools out there that I didn't get to cover. But I just want you to take away that AI can be a really helpful tool. Just make sure you're making quality content and not leaning on it too much, because we don't want to sensationalize AI, because the human element of your videos is the most important thing, and it's what's going to make you stand out, and it's what's going to make your content extremely evergreen and long lasting. The content years from now that people are going to want to keep watching and that is going to keep showing up in the YouTube feed is going to be real human content with that quality to it, not AI videos that have AI images and AI voices and AI everything. But I hope these tools can make your workflow faster and maybe even a little bit more interesting and give you ideas and help you create the best content that you can make. I'm Julia, by the way, and please like if any of this from me or Jake has been useful so far. Thank you for watching, and make sure you check out the vidIQ and TubeBuddy videos when those go out. And in the meantime, please comment below and let us know, let everybody know what ways you are using AI on your channel in the real world. What are the most practical ways you have found to use AI? And of course, people are gonna yell at me. There's ChatGPT. I mentioned that a little bit. There's a million things you can use ChatGPT for, but I wanted to mention some less well-known tools. But any ways that you're using ChatGPT, I'd be really curious to hear about too. See you next time.